aromatic alcohol, methods of preparation of phenol, ways of preparing phenol. Phenol, you know, is an aromatic alcohol. Aromatic alcohol. Methods of preparing phenol. Now, the most general way of preparing an aliphatic alcohol used to be, treatment of corresponding halide, with aqueous NaOH or KOH. This was the most common way of preparing aliphatic alcohol, treating the corresponding halide with aqueous NaOH or KOH. Nucleophilic substitution could be SN1 or SN2 depending upon the nature of the halide and other factors. SN1 or SN2 was some nucleophilic substitution. All right. The most common way of converting or preparing an alcohol is to convert the corresponding halide by making it react with aqueous NaOH or KOH. Fair enough. Here also, if I propose the same halide, aryl halide, hydrolysis OH minus with phenol, forming phenol, tell me if this process is going to be as feasible and simple as the previous one, or it is going to be challenging? Who will tell me? This is the most common way of preparing aliphatic alcohols. To try to emulate the same for aromatic alcohols, tell me, is it going to be very feasible, equally simple, or challenging? Who will tell me? Very true, very true. Every time you are trying to carry out a nucleophilic substitution, it's a nucleophilic substitution, because eventually I am trying to replace X minus by OH minus. So it's a nucleophilic substitution. Also, I am going to call it aromatic nucleophilic substitution to differentiate it with the SN1, SN2 we know. Any kind of aromatic nucleophilic substitution will be challenging. Reason being, this time, say in this case, the lone pairs of the halogen, plus R effect, this lone pair would resonate with the electron density in the ring. This lone pair will resonate with the pi density in the ring. And while drawing the various resonating structures, we are going to arrive at structures where carbon and halogen will be bearing a double bond. Now, as you said, it's called double bond character. All the different resonating structures, so many different resonating structures will have C double bond carbon. Now, this is called development of double bond character in the region between carbon and halogen. We all understand. There is going to be fair bit of double bond character. Now, more the bond order, more the bond energy, more difficult to break that bond and more difficult to carry out this process. So, something which was very routine, very common in aliphatic alcohols is going to be difficult for aromatic counterparts. It is going to be a difficult way of preparing phenol, converting aryl halides to alcohol, and every time in aromatic nucleophilic substitutions you will find heat, you will find very high temperature required, this case around 500 to 600 degrees Celsius. Alright, I guess I have made it very clear to you. In aromatic compounds, nucleophilic substitution will be challenging, because every now and then we have a double bond character here, bond energy will be more, this bond is more difficult to break, and it will be possible only at very high temperature, making it costly, because at very high temperature you will want more fuel, making the process costlier and not a great way of preparing phenol. Now, I also find this an opportunity, to discuss a few facts about nucleophilic substitution. I hope I have presented at least one fact to you, that nucleophilic substitution in aromatic compounds is going to be difficult than the aliphatic counterparts. And it's not going to be a great way of preparing phenol the way it was for aliphatic alcohols. In general, a substituted aromatic compound, if you want to convert it from X substituted to Y substituted by adding Y minus, expecting X minus to depart. Now this looks like an aromatic nucleophilic substitution. Aromatic nucleophilic substitution. All right. With the mechanism has to be the following. Say in the first step, Y minus attacks this particular carbon so that this bond shifts here, giving you an intermediate of this kind. I could draw the resonating structures of this intermediate. This coming here, this moving here will give me an intermediate of this kind. This coming here, this moving over this carbon, will give you an intermediate of this kind. And finally, this lone pair coming down, knocking out X minus, thereby converting X substituted benzene to Y substituted benzene, will be the last step of this aromatic nucleophilic substitution. Suppose this is a proposed mechanism. Maybe this is the first time I'm talking in details about this, because in an aromatic compound full of electron density, we are more used to an electrophile attacking. See, yes or no? I'm more used to nitration, bromination, halogenation, Friedel-Crafts reaction, are more used to an electrophile attacking the ring because it's electron rich. So these reactions will be very rare, where a nucleophile will want to come and attack the ring and knock out another nucleophile in aromatic nucleophilic substitution. I repeat, we are more used to benzene ring being attacked by an electrophile, benzene ring or aromatic compound being attacked by an electrophile. And we are more used to an intermediate of this kind. What is this intermediate called? Sigma complex. You have seen it we have talked about it in details. A sigma complex or a valent complex. Yes or no? So we are more used to an electrophile attacking the ring, producing a sigma complex which matures to the final product by loss of another electrophile. In aromatic chemistry, more common reaction is electrophilic substitution. One electrophile coming in, another electrophile going out. Now we are talking about a nucleophilic substitution. First of all, I had to call it aromatic nucleophilic substitution to differentiate it from the SN1, SN2 we have learned over aliphatic sp3 hybridized carbon. And then we have figured out that with lone pair present here and getting involved in resonance, this bond is always going to have some amount of double bond character, making this step difficult. All that's a proposed mechanism, but it's not going to occur very easily. It would call for high temperature. Fine, more energy. Now I repeat, we are more used to a complex of this kind in aromatic hydrocarbons, which I know as sigma complex and valent complex. This particular intermediate, which could again be represented this time, say with a negative charge here, both X and Y. I hope you're comfortable. I'm trying to express these three resonating structures with what is called the resonance hybrid of the intermediate. All right, the negative charge at ortho and para position, the negative charge at ortho and para position. Now this corresponding intermediate for a nucleophilic substitution is called a Meitzenheimer complex. It's called a Meitzenheimer complex. Chances are you learn and talk about sigma complex very often, and it's likely that you'll never ever hear even the name of this complex, because I told you the more common reaction will be electrophilic substitution, but a nucleophilic substitution would involve an intermediate of this kind, an intermediate of this kind, which is called Meitzenheimer complex. Now when it was about a sigma complex or Wheeland complex, it was bearing a positive charge. You realize an electrophile attacking this intermediate had some positive charge. And then for the stability of the intermediate, I repeat, for the stability of the intermediate, and also for the sake of increasing electron density in the ring, we have talked about it in the past, I had preferred plus I plus R effect, plus I plus R effect, plus I plus R effect on one hand would have increased electron density in the aromatic ring. There are also ortho-para orienting groups as well. Also, plus I plus R electron withdrawing group would stabilize this positive charge intermediate. Plus I plus R would stabilize this positive charge intermediate. So plus I plus R in general electrophilic substitution increase the rate of the process. They make the ring more reactive. They make the ring more reactive. Fair enough. Whereas this time, because I have a negatively charged species, I certainly believe that minus I minus R effect, which are otherwise deactivating for aromatic rings. Hey, minus I minus R effect this time would stabilize this intermediate because of negative charge. Say yes or no? These being positive, a plus I plus R effect was increasing the reactivity of the ring, and in general the reactivity of the aromatic compounds. I keep on repeating this because the general reaction of aromatic hydrocarbons will be electrophilic substitution with this complex. In bromination, halogenation, sulfonation, Friedel-Crafts, acylation, alkylation, and more reactions which we will learn. Plus I plus R would have increased electron density here, would have made it more inviting for an electrophile, would stabilize the intermediate, increases the reactivity of aromatic compounds. Now for this rare kind of reaction over aromatic ring, which is aromatic nucleophilic substitution, you realize this Meitzenheimer complex, because it's negatively charged, this time I expect minus I minus R group to increase the reactivity, minus I minus R group to increase the reactivity, and this is what happens. Because I certainly told you that conversion of this chlorobenzene to phenol is difficult. I told you it's going to require very high temperature, around 500 degrees Celsius or more. Believe me, with an NO2 coming here. Now NO2 is minus I minus R. The corresponding phenol, which is paranitrophenol. Now this process will occur a little readily. It will occur a little readily. 2 NO2, one ortho, another para. With 2 NO2 groups, ortho para dinitrophenol, say, the process would occur even more readily, because that the mechanism proposed is involving a Meitzenheimer complex with a negative charge, where minus I minus R groups are expected to promote the rate of the process, All of it is very commonly drafted in form of, again, a very general problem, very general question of this kind. I hope I can rub it for you. I know that formation of phenol this way is difficult. Hydrolysis of aryl halide, and I know you're likely to find questions of this kind. This with OH minus, forming phenol. Temperature required is T1. You have a nitro here. For the same process, temperature required is T2. You have a couple of NO2 groups, ortho and para. If the temperature required for similar process, this time this OH is going to be a 2 NO2 groups in the product also, and I'll carry on to the situation where it's trinitro-chlorobenzene. I have 3 NO2 groups at all ortho and para positions, and if I want to carry out the same process, this time the temperature required is T4, producing OH, NO2, 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 trinitrophenol. Anyone who could tell me there is a very particular name of this compound? Picric acid, yes, picric acid. And we will see that it's going to be one of the strongest organic acids. Picric acid will be one of the strongest organic acids. One of the strongest organic acids with no acidic group, with no carboxyl group, picric acid. Anyways, I hope you are following me. With orthonitro, ortho-para-dinitro, and this trinitrochlorobenzene, if the same reaction is carried out, and if the temperature required is T1, T2, T3 and T4 to have the product formed at the same rate, predict the order of T1, T2, T3, T4. And it's going to be T1 greater than T2, greater than T3, greater than T4. Hey, you understand, because with every NO2, the minus I group is increasing into the ring, stabilizing the Meisenheimer complex, and making the process more feasible, which could be conducted at the same rate at a lower temperature. All right. So NO2 or -I -R at ortho and para positions, -I -R at ortho and para positions particularly facilitate nucleophilic substitution. I repeat, -I -R at ortho and para positions will particularly facilitate nucleophilic substitution, aromatic nucleophilic substitution. All right. If I had the CH3 here plus I, tell me whether it would have promoted or inhibited this process. Inhibited, because this time plus I, electron repelling effect is not good for the health of the intermediate. Plus I would inhibit the process, and this time if say the temperature required is T5, T5 would be more than T1. Yes or no? Again, the stabilizing effect of -I -R will be more at ortho and para positions, because if you look at the intermediate, I gave you the structures before. Ortho and para will bear this negative charge. Ortho and para will bear this negative charge, and we have seen it before. We are used to charge development at ortho and para positions only. Realize at ortho or para positions, a -R effect, NO2 here, it will be able to further disperse this negative charge. Yes or no? Yes or no? This is -R. At ortho and para positions, NO2 will be able to disperse this negative charge by -R, which is not possible at meta position, because in the resonating structure you see negative charge coming at ortho and para positions only. This is why from meta position it could be only -I, from ortho and para position it could be both -I as well as -R. All right. And you understand how with these groups at ortho and para positions, the predators, the process is becoming more feasible, requiring less temperature for the same process at the same rate. Fine. this will occur instantly. Dinitrophenol is formed instantly at 0 degree Celsius, whereas this required 500 degree Celsius. So this will occur not 0 degree exactly, it will occur under room conditions 20-25 degree Celsius, whereas this would need 500 degree Celsius. All right, okay. I know at ortho and para positions they facilitate the process. Otherwise, this is difficult. Anything of this kind is difficult, and aromatic compounds. All right. Now, because although we are in the middle of discussing preparation of phenol, I chose a process which was requiring nucleophilic substitution. I had to share this thought of with you before talking about the next reaction. And because we have started with a kind of reaction, aromatic nucleophilic substitution, let's also know about a few more facts. I'm used to this becoming phenol at high temperature, 500 degrees Celsius or above. Surprisingly, a nucleophile like NH2 minus will be able to do it with no heating effect. With all the nucleophiles, I mean, why talk of a process? Let's have X becoming Y every time. Now, with most of the Y minus around, with most of the nucleophiles, I told you it's going to require high temperature. A strange fact is, if the nucleophile is NH2 minus, first of all, it will not require any heating effect. Another very interesting phenomena observed is, if you observe the process more closely, you would realize that NH2 doesn't always go to the carbon atom which is leaving the nucleophile. I mean, if you are able to label this carbon by any or the other means, if this carbon is a labeled carbon which is bearing this nucleophile before, all right. First of all, this will happen at this will not require very demanding conditions, and secondly, you will find this nucleophile NH2 minus occupying either the same site or a site next to it. So these are two facts associated with aromatic nucleophilic substitution when the nucleophile is NH2 minus. One, the process will happen far too readily than expected, no heating effect required. Two, the incoming nucleophile will either take up the same position which was taken up by the previous nucleophile, or a position next to it, adjacent to it, ortho to it. Fine. I am now proposing the mechanism for a change of this kind. We also get introduced to, or we also get familiar to, although I have spoken about it in the past, another kind of reaction intermediate. See, this is what we believe, which is otherwise difficult. Aromatic ring with X here, NH2 minus, first of all, is fairly basic. NH2 minus is fairly basic. It's a stronger base than OH minus. I have said you before, because water is more acidic than ammonia. I have said these things before. Certainly, even comparing OH minus and NH2 minus, I find NH2 minus is a stronger base. In any case, NH2 minus is a stronger base. Good enough, strong enough to break this carbon hydrogen bond, which is between hydrogen and a carbon, which is sp2. Now let's not forget, with more s character, the size becomes smaller. With more s character, size becomes smaller. Bond length is smaller and the bond energy is more. So any day sp2 bond will have more bond energy than sp3 bond. Now this hydrogen is difficult to abstract. We have not seen any base taking out hydrogen from the benzene ring so far, because it's between sp2 carbon and this hydrogen. sp2 carbon more s character, this bond will be more difficult to cleave. That could be another reason. Why along with the double bond character, this bond is difficult to break compared to the aliphatic counterparts, because that's between sp3 carbon and halogen. I hope you all buy it. In aliphatic halides, it's between sp3 carbon and halogen. It's between sp2 carbon and halogen. So other than resonance, other than double bond character, there is another way of looking at the same. Now this being a strong base, this being a strong base is capable of taking out this hydrogen, which is otherwise difficult to remove. Let's have this bond come down and this X minus goes out. A different mechanism proposed involving an intermediate. Now who will tell me what is this intermediate called? What is this intermediate called? Benzyne. It involves a benzyne mechanism. Now because it's involving a benzyne mechanism, it doesn't have that negative charge. It's not like the Meisenheimer complex. It doesn't have a negative charge. It doesn't need to be stabilized by minus I minus R groups. Alright. It's a different mechanism altogether. It's not involving Meisenheimer complex. There is no negative charge here. It doesn't need a minus I minus R to stabilize the intermediate and promote the reaction. So that's why aniline in this case is carried out very readily without involving a minus I minus R effect, because the process is different, because there is no Meisenheimer complex, because the minus I minus R group is not required. And this benzene being very reactive would quickly give you the final product. I am just skipping a step here. I am assuming direct NH2 minus attacks, although it's about a couple of steps which I am avoiding right now, but it also explains the stereochemistry of the process. The regiochemistry of the process. When this gets converted to this, benzene, when this haloarine gets converted to benzene, even if I have labeled this carbon, which happens to be this carbon, in benzene, these two carbon atoms are equivalent. So using benzene mechanism, I am able to explain how there are two products possible. They're chemically same, but the site of attachment is different, which could be proved by labeling one particular carbon and realizing that NH2 either takes up the same carbon or the carbon next to it. I'll be able to explain it through benzene mechanism, because in benzene it places these two carbon atoms next to each other equivalent. So this NH2 minus could go and attack either this carbon or that carbon with equal ease and equal probability. Now a product of this kind where NH2 minus takes up the same position as left by the previous electrophile, previous group, is supposed to be a product of direct substitution. It's called a product of direct substitution. Whereas this one is called a product of sine substitution. So both direct and sine substitution with NH2 minus as the nucleophile, and they could be explained using benzene mechanism. All right. I'll just want to stop here because